Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a very interesting video, because today I'm taking you on a point of view drive of this car. So the brand new 2020 Mercedes GLA second generation model. First of all, many thanks to Auto Gasparic for letting me have the car for a test. As you can see, it's much more mature in terms of design right now, really looking like a proper crossover, proper SUV, not like a crossover, which was the case with the predecessor. I love the design of the new lights. This car has the optional AMG line, which looks very nice. You have the 19-inch wheels, but they are actually pretty comfortable because you have a big tires. So definitely nice spec on this one. I would go for the night pack, which would then delete the chrome parts, but other than that, really impressive. Both the color and the wheels, the whole design of the car is very muscular, robust, and much more you know, as I said, SUV stylish than the predecessor. So without further ado, I think it's best that we jump inside. And this car has also the LED lights, which I'll show you on the night point of view drive, which we'll also cover on this channel. So I need to unlock the car, and when you unlock it, here is what you have. You are greeted with the beautiful interior, Alcantara and leather. You have the sport seats, and then you have the dual screen layout in here. As you can see, you're greeted with the Mercedes, but I don't think this is GLA. Okay, so that's a bit weird, but cool. So yeah, you're greeted with Mercedes logo, and with this button you start the car. And as you can see, beautiful layout, beautiful ambient lighting. Really a pleasure to drive a car like this. It's also very comfortable. This is the 2-liter diesel, which means it has 150 horsepower, more than enough for an average buyer. This is the entry-level diesel. So yeah, you have other options also, which I'll cover during the drive. But yeah, without further ado, I think it's best that we start driving, and then I'll also explain to you some of the details of this car. I will cover this. I think it looks better without it. So yeah, do tell me in the comments what do you think about this car. And that's it. Here's the gear lever, of course, with the Mercedes models, and let's go now. So 150 horsepower and also 320 newton meters of torque, which means plenty, which means you have a great response to throttle, especially during the city driving when you are on low RPMs. You can see it really is nice. The steering feels really good, really sharp. I was actually really surprised by that. And the car handles pretty well for, we can call it a small SUV, even though it's, I mean, it's still a crossover, but a small SUV, but you know, as I said, much more mature in terms of styling this time. So I have a 10.25 inch screen in front of me, and then additional one here, also 10.25, and you can have, the base one has the 7-inch both screens, but I would suggest you to go for this, as I think this is, I mean, among the best things about this car is definitely this crazy, you know, digital cockpit, digitalization inside. And also you have the MBUX system. So look at this, it uses the artificial intelligence. For example, look at this. Hey Mercedes,
how can I help?
I'm cold.
I'm increasing the temperature to 22.5 degrees.
So it increased the temperature. You also saw that these air vents became red for a second, which means the temperature went up, and all of it because I told my personal assist. So I told the system that I am cold. You can also use it for navigation, you can use it for all the other functions. So it's really impressive what they achieved with this system, because it's really responsive. You know, a lot of cars have this like personal assist system, but on this one it's really you know, recognizing your needs and your voice and everything. So that's really impressive. Another thing that I need to cover is that this car has also the adaptive suspension. So here is the switch. I need to wait now because this is a very narrow street. And now we have the start stop, which I forgot to turn off. It's here, the button for the start stop. And now let's go before we have some other traffic here. Right, so we can go here. So yeah, this is the switch for the driving modes, and look, we have the sport. We can now go to sport. As you can see, very responsive indeed. And then you can also go back to, you can have the individual mode, and then you configure everything on the individual. You configure the drive, the steering, and all the things that you have here. And then let's go to dynamic. So select sport. You can have the comfort mode, which is the best for everyday drive, because then the changes of the gears are, you know, smooth. The car is still has a great throttle response when you need it, but it's the best I think setup for everyday drive. And then you also have the eco mode. Now the eco mode, you can immediately feel that the response of the throttle is not that good. I mean that the car, you know, doesn't use the whole you know, power output that it has. Let's put it to comfort mode now. It will cruise along and going into the center of my city, Zagreb, with this beautiful ambient lighting. And let me just show you some of the features of the infotainment. I did an in-depth review of this car, so that will also be on the channel. Maybe it's already on the channel, so you can check it out somewhere here. But yeah, so what else do we have? We have different ambient lighting available in here, and I will now just change it, and you will see everything on your screen. Tell me in the comments which color do you like the most. I think the blue is, I don't know, the coolest. And this steering wheel not only feels good, I mean, it's not only sharp, it's also, you know, very nice in the hands. A lot of Mercedes models on the roads. Let me also show you. Okay, so interesting sound when you turn on the indicator. One thing that I wanted to show you is the cool screen that you can have when you press this engine. You have the power output and the Newton meters. This looks like a proper AMG now. I can also change these controls in here. For example, look at this. So you go to different sport display, and then you have the sport, and now it's like on AMG. Look, I have the yellow dials in front of me, just like on the AMG models. Another Mercedes. And let me show you the additional screen that you can have. Progressive. This one is a bit unusual. The RPMs are cool on this one. And the last one available is this. This is like the, let's call it minimalism screen that you can use during the night drives. Look, so everything is gone. We only have the speedometer so that you know how fast you're going, and then you also have the clock. So yeah, that's cool. But I think the coolest one and the most like relaxing one is the Classic. Tell me in the comments which screen do you like the most and how do you like the interior of this car. The changes of the gears are really smooth, so of course the automatic transmission. And speaking about the performances of this car, around 8.3 seconds to reach 100 and around 208 I believe is the top speed of this one. Now this is something that I wanted to show you. That's why I chose this different route than I was supposed to. So look at this. Here you have the camera, and now I'm the first one on the traffic light. Of course, now we also have this traffic light, so I can clearly see the traffic light without having to do this. But if you only had this one, then right now, as you can see, my GoPro is around my eye level. I don't see the traffic light, this one, but here I can see it. It's an optional thing with this camera. If you have installed, then you have this crazy and also usable thing. So now I see that it's a green light, of course, and now I can go, and the car of course then goes back to the screen that I had. And let me also show you the navigation system. It's really nice, really cool. But now, of course, again, we have the camera showing us the traffic light. You can also then, if you don't want, you can go for the navigation, and then we zoom in. Let's see if we can. So I adjusted the navigation, and look at this. So here is where the things get even cooler. Like a virtual thing that Mercedes has, it combines this like indicators and I mean the graphic where you're supposed to go. Look, now we will need to turn left, and you will see this. It's just insane. Look, like a video game. So cool. I'm really loving this car. So on the intersections which have some big turns or stuff like that, it basically shows you where to go. Another Mercedes-AMG GT4 door this time. Crazy amount of Mercedes cars on the road here on Friday night in Zagreb. But yeah, really cool. Now again we have the traffic light here, and then we are ready to go. I will now go outside of the city so that you see the car and the performance. I mean, not the performance, but how it feels when you drive it above 100 kilometers, because of course here in the city I need to drive slowly. And it's really interesting that we have 19-inch wheels, and yet we are still, riding very smooth and comfortable. That is, of course, because of the big tires that are on this car, but also, also part of the suspension that Mercedes made, and really, yeah, impressive. And it's starting to get dark, and you see the ambient lighting even better now. I will do also a night point of view drive, and then you will be able to see it in full. Hey Mercedes,
How may I help you?
what's the weather like?
In order to use online functions of the voice system, please check your Mercedes Me settings.
Okay. Of course you can adjust that, and then your car will be online non-stop, and then it can also give you the information about news, weather, wherever you want. Like a personal assist that assists you with functions and also tells you the important things that you are interested in. Now let's also talk about the driving position. As you can see by the car in front of me, we sit very high, like on a real SUV. You actually sit 14. Okay, this is very nice. Then again, we are playing the video game. Look at this, guys. I don't know if you can see it. It's so cool. Probably the coolest feature of the car for me. Yeah, I was talking about the right height and the seating position. So you sit 14 centimeters above and higher actually than on the A-Class. And you can really feel that you are high here. And let's push the throttle and see if we can make this. Yes, we can. This is actually brand new, that's why it's not on the navigation screen, because it was just opened, I don't know, maybe few months ago. Look at this, beautiful. Okay, so we have a nice stretch of road now in front of us. I've stopped here so that you can see the acceleration video. I will put the car into sport mode, and as soon as the traffic clears up, we can go. So yeah, and now we will go on the highway, and then you will be able to see exactly, you know, how does the car feel when you drive more than 100 kilometers, which we weren't able, of course, during the city drive. So let's go. All right, so that was the acceleration, really smooth. Fast gear changes, really fast in sport mode. And now we cruise along. Put it back to the comfort mode. Now this particular model doesn't have the adaptive cruise control with all the functions that you can get, but when you get that one, then you can the car can practically drive itself. It accelerates, it brakes, it keeps you in lane and everything. If you are on the longer road trips often, you can go for that one. Let's go 130 now. We can go. As you can see, really smooth drive on 130, not much noise. I mean, there is some wind noise that you need to expect. This is, after all, you know, a crossover, but it's really, you know, comfortable in here, and without any problems you can go on a longer road trips in this car. In my in-depth review, you will also see that it has a lot of space inside, both on the driver and passenger seat, but also on the rear bench. We're back to 100 kilometers per hour limit, and now we will exit the highway back to the city from where we started. Yeah. Alright guys, so that was it. The point of view drive of this beautiful Mercedes GLA, the new generation. This is the parking brake. So yeah, let me do a quick walk around once more. And once again, many thanks to Auto Gasparic for letting me have the car. Lock, mirrors fold, and we have a beautiful car here, very comfortable one. I am surprised by the smoothness of the drive. I'm also surprised by the automatic transmission. It is very good. And yeah, well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Do subscribe to the channel. There is a proper night point of view drive where we will drive on the city streets during the proper night, not this. And also there will be an in-depth review which is already online, so you can check that out. But for now, that's it. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Bye bye.